I'm Dr. James Whillans from Kelowna, British Columbia. I'm a chiropractor, and I'm here to tell you today about my experience with StudentWorks. I was with StudentWorks about 15 years ago, and hard to believe it's been that long. What a tremendous impact this company and organization has had on my life. Before StudentWorks, I was just sort of a wandering teenager, had no idea what I want to do with my life, really didn't have any direction, certainly didn't have any skills to bring to the marketplace or the skills it would take to make an impact in the world, which is really what I'm doing now. And I certainly had reservations about joining StudentWorks, even though I had actually painted for a summer. But my reservations for being an entrepreneur and becoming a manager or franchisee were really the fact that I came from a family that didn't have any entrepreneurial no one had been an entrepreneur. No one had run their own business. Were lacking financially in a huge way. I didn't have a license. I didn't have a car. I didn't have any access to the means to buy a little bit of equipment. So those were what was up against me at the time. And I just remember knowing that this was what needed to happen. I needed to make this happen. And probably the first thing I learned from StudentWorks was just the fact that, hey, if you're going to make something happen, it's up to you. It's up to me. I got to make it happen. And I did. I went out and got my license. I figured out how to get an old crappy car. I made it work. And that was just huge. And I learned so much from StudentWorks during that time. I had the pleasure of not only being a manager for 3 years, I stayed on as a district manager for 3 years. So just had a tremendous influence on my life. And I'm forever grateful to Chris and the organization. I just learned so much as far as skills of not just entrepreneurial skills, but the skills that the skills that are needed in order to really be able to connect with people, to really be able to understand that relationships are what's most important, and that that life is really about making everything a win-win, figuring out what people's needs are, how to meet those needs, how to make their life better. Those are some of the things that some of the culture that I really learned from LifeWorks that stuck with me. And when I think about how different ways StudentWorks has influenced or changed my life, going back to those days, even something so simple as when I finished with StudentWorks, I was able to travel with my best friend for 7.5 months. Took a 7.5 month trip that I never ever would have been able to do without just being able to be financially, do as well as I did at that time. There's no way I would have been able to do that with any other regular job. So that was awesome at the time. And then the skills I've taken from StudentWorks and been able to put into my business now, if you're someone who is maybe looking at StudentWorks and maybe you're thinking, well, I'm going to be an engineer, I'm going to be a doctor, a veterinarian, or a chiropractor, or physical therapist, or some other professional, a lawyer, whatever it might be. I would hope that what you could take from what I'm saying is that the skills that you can learn running your own business with StudentWorks are skills that you can really utilize, whether you're working for someone, whether you're running your own professional business down the road. The same skills really apply. The same skills of marketing and branding yourself, of sales and fulfilling and developing needs. All those skills are so critical, regardless of where you go, and even if you're going to be a professional. I mean, as a chiropractor, people come in and they expect high quality chiropractic care, and that's what we strive to deliver with every patient. But the business aspect, as far as what we're delivering, is the patient experience. What happens when they come into the office, and how we take care of them, and the whole how I take care of the staff and train the staff, and the systems and procedures that we have in place are all driven by my entrepreneurial business side, which again was developed through StudentWorks. So forever grateful to StudentWorks. I really, really appreciate what they've done for me. And I just would really encourage you that if you're thinking about StudentWorks for the management training role, I highly, highly recommend it. If you want to reach out to me and have any specific questions for me, I'm sure Chris can add my email down below. It's Dr. Whillans. That's DrWhillans at LifeWorks Family or at LifeWorksChiropractic.ca. I wish you all the best. Reach out if you have a question. Thank you.